so much for staying there. Now, let's run through the newspapers. Some of them are here. The Daily Graphic this morning says political parties abandon exhibition centers, and it comes with a photograph in Accra. The story is on page 3 and talks about the fact that agents of these parties are not at these exhibition centers. We'll take a deeper look at that story. The Ghanaian Times says Parliament passes bill to check government borrowing. The governor of the Bank of Ghana's photograph is there. We'll take a deeper look at that story too. And then one key story this morning will be the issue of the Muntie 3, because the Daily Graphic has a story from the CD that says conviction of Muntie trio problematic, but presidential pardon will represent misuse of executive power. That's the CDD. And also on the issue of the voter exhibition, we'll take a look at the issue of e-transmission this morning when I tell you who my guests are. The Daily Guide carry that story, Free S. Mahama, Muntie 3 cry for mercy. President Mohammed's photograph is here. I told you that story will be part of our conversation this morning. The finder says weighing cards ran out, gains made in reducing child mortality under threat. The health ministries is here talking about weighing cards that have run out. We're told that nurses are writing the names of these babies on pieces of papers. We'll take a look at that story too. The General Telegraph says that Samajan to face jailed Mugabe in court. The issue of one of the discussions on Muntie FM. So those are the stories on some of the newspapers this morning. My guest in the studio already seated to my left is Deputy Communications Director of the NPP, Michael Kweju. Mike, good morning.
Very good morning to you, Bright.
And thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having us also.
Great. And then to my right is Member of Parliament for Ablekuma Central, Honorable Theophilus Tetechai. Good morning. And I hope you're doing great too. Great. Now, let's straight away jump into this story. Let's start with the exhibition, and then we'll tie that in with the issue of the e-transmission, because the Electoral Commission is suggesting that indeed the decision to do e-transmission was not unilateral. It didn't take that decision alone. But the big story this morning is that parties have abandoned exhibition centers. We're told that agents of these parties are not there. Now, the story is suggesting that the NDC, the NPP, the PNC, and the CPP are saying that, well, we're not there, but we've asked our constituency executives to be part of the process, to be there and monitor the process. Now, let's start with that one, and then we'll tie that in with the e-transmission. Honorable Theophilus Tetechai, so the political parties are a major key stakeholders here. The complaints of wrongs with the voter register, and yet such an important process, one of the steps to the elections, they are not there.
Thank you very much. First of all, let me say good morning to your cherished viewers, and also to thank the Ghanaian public for the support they have for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
I see.
Yeah. Now coming to the electoral processes. Well, for some time now, it has been a challenge for all of us as a country. Various political parties hearing their views in terms of how the voters' register should be cleaned. As a political party, the NDC has made its views known to the public as to what needs to be done, to the extent that some members of the opposition, New Patriotic Party, together with other citizens of this country, went to court to ensure that proper methods are used for the cleaning of the register. We were assured by the Electoral Commission that yes, it is within their mandate to ensure that we have a clean register for the 2016 December 7th elections. So they went ahead, started with the processes. People were of the view that some of the issues raised by the court are not being followed. So the same petitioners went back to court to seek interpretation of what needs to be done. Yes, the court also came out clearly to give guidelines as to how it wants things done. And clearly, the Electoral Commission followed suit, gave us dates for the exhibition exercise and then for the cleaning of those who use NHIS cards in registering. Now, for me, in my experience in politics since 1992, I have worked severally at the grassroots level in terms of polling agents, ensuring that we have credible elections and so on and so forth. And it has been a challenge that there's no point in our registration or exhibition exercise that the general public have shown that much interest.
And even political parties?
And even political parties. But the two major political parties have always been at the forefront, the NDC and the NPP. Most of these registration exercises, exhibition exercises, these two political parties are always there to ensure that the right things are done. Yes, the newspaper is reporting that some political parties have abandoned.
They have left there. They have left the exercise to
but
their constituency
for me,
executives.
it is not wholly true, because I know that for the NDC, we want to ensure that the right things are done, because when it comes to elections, mounting the campaign platform and then sending messages across is how to police the system, ensure that the right things are being done, so that at the end of the day, political parties will have the cause to complain about any irregularity. And so therefore, we have mounted a strategy to ensure that the registration exercise, the verification, all those things goes on smoothly. So I don't know where the story is being picked.
So actually there's some polling centers,
maybe
exhibition centers, and the officials are not there. But it seems to suggest the parties are not really excited about these things. What they want is a final the election itself.
No, why shouldn't political parties?
Because you're not there. I'm doing the graphic is reporting that you're not there.
Well, we don't know actually the various polling stations they went to.
But you're not suggesting that indeed your party officials are there.
No, I would not be in the position.
Because your party says that it has given that task to constituency executives to do.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's leave it here. But Mike, let's tie that in with this e-transmission. For you, a brief on this polling station issue. The suggestion that parties are not interested in this. And the fact that it is a worry, because this is the process that will lead to the putting together of the voter register. So if you're not there, then we should be worried about it.
Okay, let me start by saying a very good morning to your viewers, to my brother Tete, and to your good self. Yes, on the face of it, it seems worrying. But I have always insisted that this is not the way to go. I have voted abroad before. I've voted in England before. And my experience there was that when I got to the polling station, there was no party agent. There was an EC official, his legs crossed, reading a newspaper. Everything was working. If we have a country, and you know our best practice is mainly from England and some from America. We want to learn the thing properly. Yet, we have situations where the EC will make mistakes, and instead of us charging the EC, we say that if the polling agent is not there, it's okay for the EC to make the mistake. You see the problem? So when we talk about these kind of things, it's for best practice. The NPP, and of course the NDC to an extent, but the NPP is well known for always promoting reforms for electoral issues. Not because we want to cause confusion in Ghana, but because we believe in improvement, transparency, and accountability, which are all the ethos of the Electoral Commission. Now, I'm not surprised that we don't have agents there because it is very expensive.
It's been left to constituency executives.
It is very expensive. So now we are doing more of patrolling. But it's very expensive to have somebody sit there for 3 weeks. Do you know you have to give the person food every day? And it's done by the MP. It may sound like a conglomerate, i.e. the party is doing it. No. That the child will have to be doing it in his constituency if he were going. Where do you get the money from? How do you sustain it? And so I'm saying it's not sustainable for us to put our future in the hands of party agents when we have the Electoral Commission.
So how do we ensure a clean process?
That is why
Leave
the
it to the
Electoral
EC?
Commission should be of a certain behavior where we trust them. Now look at this e-transmission thing. I was very, very surprised that we raised certain concerns regarding e-transmission. It's not a fight. It's concerns that should be addressed. Straight away, the EC says MPP is being hypocritical, but we were at a proposal signatory, whatever. Let me go on to
the
explain.
party was not there?
Yeah, let me explain what the issue is. Look, first of all, are you aware that there have been certain proposals that were put forward that was signed by Kwabena Japan?
Right.
Then the
he
EC
attended
itself,
that
yes.
meeting.
Now those were proposals, and the Chai is here. Let us just talk about it honestly. Then the EC itself came and gave 20 reforms that they intend to implement. And on the EC's own website, it has talked about this. And then gone further to even mention 27 key reforms that it will implement. The exact number is 27. E-transmission is not there.
Among the named
It's
reforms?
not among what they've agreed to. You see, a proposal is different from an intention to perform. And we are saying that, one, it is not there. So, what is the situation? Look, just like the dates changed,
But, Mike, it is not where?
it is not on the EC's website.
Okay.
Yes. So that is not there. That is undisputed. Now, we are saying that available records show that the EC Reform Committee only proposed the scanning of the collation sheet. Listen to this. Collation sheet and transmission of the same from constituency collation center, followed by depositing the actual certified collation sheet.
At the headquarters?
Yes. However, what the EC is proposing to do now is radically different. What they are proposing to do is that they are saying that they want transmission results from the polling station. And this was shown in, recently when they had their the tender, where 5 have been shortlisted. So we are just asking that, is this different from what you said? In any case, has this decision been made? In any case, if it is going to be made or has been made, can we be part of that demonstration that you are about to do, so that when we are part of it, we can go through the processes to make sure that it is not in a situation where we will have a lot of problems.
Mike, you're suggesting that what Mr. Kwabena Japan might have appended his signature to was just proposal.
Proposal.
That's what you're saying.
Yes. And so I'm saying that even further.
And you think the EC is
I don't want to look. We don't believe in
because the EC
names.
says it was a
the
decision
EC has got
taken.
it wrong. They've got it wrong. That even at this stage, the NDC, they can tell me now, if the 27 that the EC have agreed to perform, if e-transmission is there, they should tell me. That's all we want. But you can't tell me.
The EC suggested, Mr. Jakpasu, for instance, has spoken and said that it was part of the many reforms that the EC
proposed. No, this was proposed.
So you agree?
You are getting it wrong.
Okay, you agree that it was
I'll
proposed.
let my brother to help you.
No,
this was proposed by
right.
various political parties, and it was signed by all of them.
Right.
To show that these are some of the things that we want. Then it was given to the EC. So the signature is there as to the proposed reforms. then the EC itself has put a list of 27 that they intend to carry out.
Right.
They didn't do all the proposals that were brought.
And this is one of them.
And one of them was one of the 27 there. It's not e-transmission. That's what I'm saying.
No,
now, let me go.
I am asking you these questions because the EC is suggesting that it is one of the many proposals they made.
Oh, my brother. You are confusing the people. I said there's a difference.
You go ahead and let the people understand.
Wait, there's a difference between proposal signed by all the political parties and what the EC has accepted to do.
Okay. And
there's a difference.
And your beef is that
so stop talking about proposal.
E-transmission was not
too early.
E-transmission was not one of them.
It's not part of the 27 key reforms that it intends to implement.
Okay.
That has been put
so
on its
you're
website.
disagreeing with the EC that it is one.
No. The EC is not saying that it is one of the key reforms.
The EC said that.
The EC is saying that we have signed the proposal which had e-transmission. But we are saying that the proposal is not a decision. The proposal is an intention to create a legal relation. But it is not actually a performance of it. Now, despite that, these are some of the things that the MPP we are worried about. Look, are you aware that, for example, in Ecuador, Mexico, Kenya, when the results started being transmitted electronically, there was a breakdown in the system. In Ecuador, for example, for 2 whole weeks, the results were not coming. What is our counter for something like that? We just want to discuss it to the EC. We want the transparency. After all, part of their mandate is to be transparent and accountable to the Ghanaian people. And so if you ask for transparency and accountability, it means you hate the EC. I am very, very surprised.
Is the EC not right in saying that you were part of that meeting? So all these issues you were raising could have been raised there.
You are not getting it. Let me repeat again. We were part of the meeting for proposals sent.
Great. And the EC said these things were discussed.
No, hold on. We're not part of the decision. We are saying that if you have taken a decision and you want to go ahead, because you are aware that now they've gone ahead to put in a tender for these machines. So now it is not just a thought, it is action. One, why is it not one of the 27?
The proposal was not discussed at that meeting?
The decision, don't get the difference. The decision was not discussed. And I'm saying that after that, we don't mind if the EC thinks that that is the way to go. However, we know that these 5 companies are about to do a demonstration of how they intend to do this. What we are saying by consensus is, EC, first of all, we were not consulted that a decision has been made. But in any case, if we are going to go ahead of it, let us discuss at the IPAC. Okay. The decision has not been discussed between me and Tete.
Okay.
Finally,
let's quickly wrap up this one.
Yes. Okay. Finally, we want to have a demonstration to understand it. And you know, sometimes we, the political parties, because we're on the ground, we can give certain insight and say, Mr. Owner of this e-transmission, Mr. Whiteman who has come to stand there, in Ghana, this might be problematic because so and so. Tete Chai gives his opinion. The EC puts it together as a final report, and that even helps the programmer to deal with it. That's what we are saying.
Okay, all right.
Does this call for insults?
For me? Okay, but the EC has not insulted.
No, but people are saying that
says
the
that
EC just
the
wants
MPP saying that they were not, they don't know of this proposal is wrong because
in effect,
they were there.
They are not.
They are not.
Right. I have listened to Mr. McMenu. And he has accepted the fact that they are very much aware of this process. But it was a question that he asked. Okay? Now, you see, if you look at the chronology of events taking place, especially on the front of the MPP, for me, I see clearly that the MPP is not ready for this year's elections. Because you see, if you look at all the things that the EC does, these are things that are discussed at the IPAC level. The EC has never done anything that political parties have not been informed or have not been privy to. Okay? Now, in this new electronic transmission that they want to do, yes, there is no way the EC will implement this new system without taking political parties through the system. how it will be run.
From August 1, it's sending out the invitation.
Exactly. So what is the hue and cry? Is it that from today up to December 7th, we should continuously be painting the Electoral Commission black? What agenda are we setting? The very things that we have agreed to, and then we turn around to pretend as if we knew nothing about it, just to create that negative impression in the minds of the public. And I think what the NPP is doing, they need to stop. If they are not ready for the elections, they should let Ghanaians know. You see, if you look at the transitional provisions that we all agreed that it should be brought to November 7th, what happened? The same people during the final moment kicked against it. It tells you one thing, that the NPP is not ready for the December, for this year's elections. And they are just buying time, creating the pressure as if everything is wrong about the elections that we are going to hold as a nation. But you see, this is not the first time as a country we are going through elections. And if we start doing this, we create some form of apprehension. So I beg, I'm appealing to the NPP that look, let us allow the Electoral Commission to do its work. There's no way the Electoral Commission will implement this thing without involving the political parties as to how transmissions will be done, as to how the results will be collated. And you and I, we all know. So what is the hue and cry? The NPP is up to something, and it is about time Ghanaians see through their lens what the NPP is doing. It is not fair. It is not.
Let's move on to another.
Let me have my second bite.
Oh,
yeah.
what?
Please hear the second bite.
Bright,
why? That's the rules of engagement.
Okay, only 30 seconds. Because I want us to move.
No, Bright, I don't understand.
When
my brother was speaking,
Bright,
I have to make this clear. When my brother was speaking, you were actually nodding, you paid attention. Right. If I start speaking, you start interrupting with probing questions. Okay. Please, let me also have my bite to the cherry. He spoke first, I spoke second. Then he has spoken again.
No,
let me also speak.
Please. I would interrupt if, for instance, you say that the EC is calling the NPP liars. That's what I was talking.
Well, I didn't say the EC. I said people are, and that's what my brother has just done, which I'm about to respond to. Let me have my day, please.
You can't have your day. Just 30 seconds. Let's move.
I'll have 2 minutes because you have 2 minutes. Please indulge me.
No, you have 30 seconds, Mike. Let's move on to another.
That is not fair, and I think your viewers.
I determine the fairness here.
Your determination must be fair.
Yes, and I'm saying that it is fair.
Your determination must be fair.
Okay, and I'm saying that it is fair. 30 seconds is fair, so that.
So much time.
Okay, so move on.
Now, in response to what my brother said, that the NPP are not ready. In fact, we are rather ready.
Okay.
That is why we are able to challenge the timetable of the EC. My brother, are you aware that we are the ones who proposed 7th November? As way back as November 2014.
Rejected it.
Why did we reject it later?
It means you are not ready.
We rejected it because we realized that the EC's timetable was not ready.
Okay.
And if it came early, it will cause problems. Now, secondly, and most importantly, we are talking about the fact that he says this has been discussed and agreed. I don't know if they've agreed it with NDC.
Oh.
Yes, but please, let me also make my point. But we have not agreed.
You see, this is where
your campaign chairman has acknowledged that
fact. He said we have done so. You said nothing.
But Menu has acknowledged that fact.
No, it's not been agreed with us. What is happening is this: when they brought it on their website, we were not informed.
Which website? We are talking about a meeting where the NPP was.
We are talking of
the meeting. The meeting did not agree it.
Agree on
do you
what?
understand? No, you are not getting the chronology.
Mike, I don't. I'm not sure.
Let me.
You wrap up and let's move. I'm not sure I'll get it from the way you are explaining it.
But if I land, you understand it. But if you don't allow me to land, you understand. So let me land. I am saying that the proposal we are aware of. We are not aware that e-transmission has been agreed. In fact, when we found out that these companies have been shortlisted, then we have approached them and said, look, if you want to do e-transmission, fine, but what are the modalities? And that is the word we keep using.
Okay.
What
Mike,
are the
I think
modalities?
you've told me this story
Yes,
already.
exactly.
So
So that's the same story
Let's
which
move
I
on.
need to emphasize. Now, he was saying, just the last point, if you will indulge me. He doesn't want me to talk. Pity. Now, the last one is this. He says that the EC will involve us.
The
We
EC
don't
has
have-
said it will involve.
All the processes that they
Oh,
go
is he
through.
going to allow me? Because when he was talking, I kept quiet. Me, I can
Okay.
interrupt him.
Mike,
and
you
then
go
your
on,
program
go
will
on.
not be nice.
Go
So
on.
keep quiet and let me talk to the Ghanaians.
Mike,
My issue is that sometimes consensus midway or after is not the best, because at that stage it may be too little too late. We are just kindly suggesting that involve us at the beginning so that we can use this to help Ghana. How can MPP be wrong?
Again, you're suggesting the party was not involved because
No.
you have conceded you're part of the
There's
proposal.
about to be an
You conceded you were part of the proposal. You
right.
did.
Why are you
did.
why are you
You conceded.
opinionated on my
am not.
opinion? Yes.
I am not.
my yes.
All right.
I am
Okay.
saying that
I am moving on.
I am saying that
I'm
it is
moving
our
on.
wish.
Okay.
Instead of later to do it earlier.
All right.
Do you have a problem with that?
I have no
That's what we are
problem.
saying.
I'm grateful.
And we are
Yeah.
entitled to that.
Okay. Mike Okwe Jr. is a deputy communications director of the MP. I'm grateful, Mike, for this. Now, let's spend some time on this story too, a quick one, and then we'll move on because other issues to look at. Now, the CDD comment on the conviction of Muntie 3. The ruling, the judgment is out, and I guess a lot of people are reading. Now, the CDD has two key issues. It says that the conviction of the 3 for contempt is problematic, but it says using executive powers to free them will set a dangerous precedent. Those are the two key issues, and the CDD has raised a lot of concerns talking about the judges being judges in their own court, and the fact that a pardon for them will also undermine judicial integrity and all that. Let's quickly touch on this. I won't let us spend a lot of time. And the fact that the petition has been presented or received by the Chief of
my point very clear. And I think I'm not the only person who is supporting the fact that what the 3 gentlemen did was an affront to our democratic practices.
right.
And as a result, we all disassociated ourselves from what the gentlemen did. I think various political parties, civil society groups, the general public have come out to condemn what the gentlemen did. Yes, they've gone through the court system. Some pronouncements have been made. They are to serve some sentences. The general public also have the right to comment on issues after the judgment. And as a result of that, various civil society groups have come to express their opinion as to what needs to be done, as to what the president should do, what the president shouldn't do. Some traditional chiefs have also come to make their opinions known to the entire country and the president as well. But for me, the most interesting aspect of the whole discussion that is being held is the fact that we've all acknowledged the fact that what the gentleman did was wrong. It was an affront to our democracy. And no media house, no, personality within this country should follow what this gentleman did. And I think that is one aspect.
See the way you are nodding nicely when I'm talking also.
Okay, Mike, I will not quietly when you're talking.
Why?
All right.
Why? Be like that.
I will not quietly when you're
You see,
talking. Okay.
Mike, when you
Go
do
on.
this, you try to impugn some negativity on the host, and I don't think
I'm angry. What? I'm teasing you that you should be quiet when I'm talking.
Yes,
like that.
Mike, I'll be quiet when
Like
you're
this.
talking.
Thank you very much.
You go on. Go on.
Yeah, so for me, the mere fact that all these people expressing their opinion have all come to the fact that, to the realization that what this gentleman did was wrong. That is one. And then two, you realize that we've all agreed that yes, some form of punishment should be meted out. If you listen to the chiefs, what they said yesterday, these two issues that I've raised, they also raised it.
Right.
If you listen to the various civil society groups, religious groups, and other institutions that are coming out to also talk on this issue, they've also raised these two key main agenda. That yes, what they did was wrong. Two, some form of punishment exacted, and that one everybody agrees across board. Now the only contention is whether the punishment that has been meted out was harsh or not harsh, and that is an opinion that differs across board. Okay, because if you look at the charges that were leveled against these three gentlemen, other aspects are criminal charges, and he is a lawyer. Second-degree felony is a serious crime, and I think the limit is about 3 years or so. So, in another vein, somebody may say the 4 months is a lenient punishment.
Sentence, right?
Exactly. But you see, that is the essence of democracy. We all have varying opinions, and this is the right time for us to air those opinions.
What do you think about
so that as a country we'll have a specific direction? But you see, people are calling on the president. That's where you want.
And that's where the CDD thinks
exactly.
that if the president uses that power, it might be bad for the judiciary.
People are calling on His Excellency the President to act in a certain manner. Now, it's a cross-section of people. People are expressing...
They are not NDC activists?
Oh, well, if you talk about the chiefs...
That's only the Ghana Traditional Council.
Yes. Are you going to say they are NDC people? No. So people from different walks of life are coming out to appeal to the president because he is the only person who is mandated by the Constitution to exercise that prerogative. Now, it is up to His Excellency the President. Nobody can take it away from him.
What do you think?
It is up to the President to look at the issues that are being discussed, to weigh it, to see whether, when that is granted, in his opinion, that will inure to the good people of this country. So that prerogative lies with the President. And nobody, and I mean nobody, should push His Excellency the President as to what to do.
So means that you're against those who are signing the petition?
No, it is their democratic
those
right.
Who are saying that he should come out and say something?
No, you see, it is their democratic right. That is the beauty of democracy.
Okay.
So it is up to His Excellency the President to
take that decision.
And nobody should push His Excellency the President.
He received the petition yesterday.
Yeah.
You think it should take him long to respond?
It is the prerogative of the President, and nobody should push him.
You don't have an opinion?
No. For me, everything lies in his bosom.
I'm grateful. Mike?
Yes, right.
So there are two key things here. The CDD says the conviction has a problem, but he thinks that the president should not exercise his powers because that it will set a bad precedent for our democracy.
Well, I will start by saying that a lot of people have a problem in terms of the harshness of it. But in terms of the conviction itself, as my brother rightly pointed out, it could have been as high as 3 years.
Right.
And it has been, according to their own discretion, reduced drastically to 4 months. Look, I do not wish prison on my worst enemy. In fact, the truth of the matter is, the MPP as a party, we have decided that, look, we are not going to talk about this Wunti thing anymore. We had people who were jailed, Ken Crunchy, and so on. We even tried to go and visit him. This government said, why are we visiting him too much? They moved him to Ketekrachi. They wanted us to cross river to go and visit him in prison.
You see, I don't want to come in so that you say that I'm interrupting.
No, you don't have to come in. I'm making my statement. You nod. It's okay. You nod for me.
They didn't say that.
No.
You know the government didn't say that.
Oh, they didn't say that. They don't have to say that. The prisons and all that under the government.
So don't say that.
Okay.
Okay.
So, as he was moved across river, we still went to visit him. That's what I can say that one. We went to visit him.
Which river? Is it Oti or?
I don't know the river, but we know that river. We know that prison.
All right.
River Bra.
Move on. You go on.
So they moved him across river. Your brother, he's just here. No river to Insawam. Tete, go and cook him some food.
Don't personalize it.
No, I'm saying, you people are so concerned about him. Sign a petition for visitation.
No.
Okay? Now, later. Today, you have on the menu Banku. Tomorrow, Jenana, Pokwa, Jemai, this. Then you go and give them food. By the time they come out, they are fat. If that's what you think. But this is unacceptable. And you know what the CDD has said? It is not just them. First of all, Professor Ama Ata Edu. You know that renowned Ghanaian woman. A lot of younger ones will know her. She was actually a former Minister of Education under President Rawlings' government.
Yeah.
This is what she says.
This Secretary of Education. Or
Yeah, Secretary of Education. But if you say that, you know, a lot of people won't understand.
Right.
She said, no one who is interested in Ghana and as a wholesome space for all human beings, not just NDCO, emphasis mine, and especially for its young growing population, will want to sign this particular petition to the President of the Republic. Ask my brother if he has gone to sign it.
I haven't seen him sign it.
What is this going on in this country? Now, Professor Ama Taidu, she is very surprised. She said, threatening members of the Supreme Court with such violence is certainly not a crime that should be in any way overlooked or pardoned. So, President Jomama, yes, the prerogative is yours, but it cannot be used selectively, because I never saw anybody signing any petition when Ken Kranchi was jailed. What is going on in this country? Then even the moderator of the General Assembly of the Presbyterian Church, called Reverend Professor Emmanuel Mati, he said, describe those agitating for the release of the convicts as and into brackets is quotation, nation wreckers. Because we are getting opinions. CDD has given theirs, we are continuing. Catholic Bishops' Conference. They said, I think we will set a very dangerous precedent. President John, are you listening to the Catholic bishops? He says you will set a dangerous precedent, because this is not the first time that people have been sentenced. What are we talking about in this country, my brother? So tomorrow, if Nana Akufo-Addo becomes president, by the grace of God, I can be very upset with you for saying something which I don't like. And I can actually go ahead and murder you. Okay? And when I'm jailed, then Nana Akufo-Addo will come and say, I've pardoned Michael Kwe. Then the next week, I'll go and murder Tete Chai because I don't like NDC, something he said. He can give me another pardon. All I'm saying is that we can abuse the pardon if the pardon is just to release political people. Worst of all, the pardon is supposed to be used sparingly. For example, the three of us are jailed, but Tete Chai has a particular medical condition, or he has a particular situation, so the president will pardon Tete Chai. He cannot just pardon all three of us. So what will happen is that when they pardon, for example, Mr. Sakande of the NPP, that's some people are saying he was pardoned. It was for health reasons. But not everybody in the prison was pardoned. When Mr. Chachu Chikata, a member of the NDC, was pardoned, it wasn't everybody in the prison was pardoned. He was singularly, particularly pardoned on a specific reason. So why are you saying they should pardon all three? And it will look bad, because these are people who have said, and Mr. Mugabe has said it himself on TV, on radio, that he has left his wife and his children in the UK, and he has come to Ghana to make sure that President John Mahama becomes president. I was even more appalled. Why should you leave your wife and your children? My wife and children in Ghana, so is Tete Chai's. And when we have our wife and children in Ghana, you come to Ghana and come and talk big talk to create conflagration inferno. Is that what we want in Ghana? You are more used to that word than me. You know where the word came from. Conflagration inferno.
Okay, wrap up.
It's a big word from the NDC's bosom. So please, let us not sit here and try to toy with this thing. And we are signing petition. Women, senior women, like Madam Oyelita, and I'm surprised at that because her own husband.
It's your right, Mike.
But it's also my opinion.
Yes, so you go on.
Since my opinion is that her own husband, who is the lawyer of the president, himself says that they should leave the president to do his work.
That's the beauty of democracy.
Thank you. But the beauty is, hey, husband and wife, you see the confusion that they are setting for the president himself. Okay. The same little, Mr. and Mrs.
Okay, let's move
sleep
on.
in the same house.
Mike, let's move.
Even
I think
there's
you have wrapped up. Let's
just to
move on.
land on this.
Okay,
they
land
should
on.
not bring any confusion. This is confusion that even husband and wife can't agree on. They should leave Ghanaians alone.
I'm
In
not
4
sure.
months'
I'm not
time,
sure what you're saying.
they should get whatever they want out. Visit them every weekend. Of course, the director of prisons can decide to take them across waters. That's his prerogative. But they should go and visit them every weekend, and they should wait patiently. I heard something about the Ghana Traditional Council. I said, the last time you are checking, someone is out of the Traditional Council area. It's very far.
They only said that it happened on their land.
I mean, it's your opinion. I'm just saying, on their land, yes.
Okay.
In Sawam, it's far. So maybe let's get the Sawam chiefs to also
Mike,
say
I'm
on that.
grateful.
But the bottom line
I'm
is
grateful. Mike, I'm grateful.
Okay, thank you very
Let's
much.
move on.
Stop causing confusion.
Right. Now, the Ghanaian Times says Bank of Ghana bill passed, and the story is saying that an amendment bill 2016, which seeks to, among other things, place restrictions on the government, on government from borrowing from the central bank, is being passed. Now, the purpose, we're told, is to prevent government from excessive borrowing from the Bank of Ghana. So, we're told that as a result of that, government can borrow from the bank, or that can only borrow 5%. Previously, it was 10% under BOG Act 2002. It is now 5%. Other issues were also added. We're told also that the officials from the Ministry of Finance who were formerly part of the Central Bank's Monetary Planning Committee are no more, and we're told that is to give the bank more room to operate. Honorable Chief Justice, you were there in Parliament, and I'm sure you have a lot about this. So, initially, there were some suggestions that the IMF did not want government, the Bank of Ghana, to finance anything at all from government. So we're talking about zero financing. Yes. Now, from 10%, we're told 5%. Perhaps this is good for us, because it was difficult for a country like Ghana to move on without financing from the Bank of Ghana.
Yeah, thank you very much. I believe that as Parliament, we have done what is right. Because one, we know the economy of anytime there is instability in terms of the economy, it affects the people. And as such, in going through the bill, we also considered sometimes the instability that comes up. Because even as we talk today, our budget, we are not able to wholly finance our budget. We still depend on donor funds. So if we are to say that, no, we should not give government the opportunity at all to be able to access some funds from the central bank, then if we don't take care, we will also shoot ourselves in the foot. We followed so many between rules measures,
Right.
that at the end of the day have not inured to the benefit of the people. So in taking, members of parliament were also looking at some unforeseen challenges. So we agreed that no, we shouldn't say zero. At least let's put in the law 5%. At least that is even a half percentage drop from the previous powers that we gave government. And I think what we did yesterday was in the interest of the good people of this country.
Is it a defiance of the IMF?
Oh, not at all. Not at all. You see,
They were asking
let
for
me tell you
zero
something. No,
finance.
let me tell you something. You see, when the IMF or these Bretton institutions bring some policies and so on and so forth, in embarking on the policy, we also need to consider our situation. Because you don't just swallow everything wholly. No. You also look at your environment. What is happening within your environment. And then you tailor whatever you are doing to fit into your environment. And that is exactly what we have done as a parliament. And we did it for the good people of this country.
Right. Let me go to Michael and then see. So, 5%, government can go in and borrow?
So, we had a previous law which took care of the fact that 10% of the annual revenue for the current year, the government could borrow to that ceiling, and to make sure that we don't exceed it, because it would create problems in terms of liquidity. Now, I am very excited because one of the first things this bill is to check from the 10% to 5% is to prevent an issue which is akin to this government, which is excessive borrowing. And that was said on the floor of Parliament yesterday, to prevent excessive borrowing. We all know that that is one of the hallmarks of this government. They borrow too much. Yes, well, when I say we all know, we who know. Okay. That they borrow excessively. I'm surprised you don't know. But every Ghanaian knows that that's their hallmark.
We are three.
100 billion. You know, 100 billion cities. We know is excessive borrowing. So that in itself is the first thing that it's supposed to cure. Then it also talks about semi-annual reports, which are going to be done in a way that would update. Because you remember recently, in terms of the Monetary Policy Committee, we have been hounding them that we want the details of the fiscal situation of the country, because we want to see how the government is performing midway. If you can come for supplementary budget, you can also give us supplementary annual reports. This is curing that.
Right.
Because we all know that this is a government who had a 12% debt to GDP. Now, after the fiscal discipline, in fact, that was in 2012.
Right.
Then it came to 11%. Okay. Then it came to about 11.6, 11.3. But since the IMF came on board to check the deficit, sorry, that's right, the deficit.
Right.
It came to, can you believe, the next year 6.7.
It's a 6.7%.
So that shows that with Keynes and supervision, that can come down. Everybody is worried that this deficit has now grown. And yet the NDC is refusing to give us this, what we call semi-annual report. This bill has cured it. And this is very good news. Then there's also the issue of emergency assistance in terms of finance. And Dr. Bawumia has spoken about this a lot. And so we are happy that this has been put in there. Our only worry is that this is to help companies who have liquidity problems but are solvent.
Which is a good idea.
Which is a good idea in its totality. But in its application can be a problem, because you see, one, if you are insolvent, of course, you shouldn't qualify, because that is way beyond rescue.
You've gone beyond rescue.
Yes. But if it's a question of just liquidity, then you can be assisted if you're still solvent. But who should be assisted is where there's a little debate.
You're worried about who takes that decision, or which body takes that decision?
That very much. So it is a two-pronged. One, who takes the decision? And also, who does the decision benefit? So, one, who takes the decision is not too much of a problem, because the Bank of Ghana will. But we want to make sure that there are certain things which are put in place that apply the discretion shouldn't be too wide, because you know our system. If you are not careful, it's applied. The thing which we have proposed, and Dr. Baumia has been very keen on this, is that we should extend the emergency to banks, because you see, banks have the higher regulatory level instead of the financial institutions like the savings and loans and so on and so forth. So that is where there is a bit of a dichotomy, where we are trying to see that why don't we look at it in terms of for the banks? They are bigger, they are more regulated, everything will be more stringent, and we are more likely to get our money back. So this was a divergent point. Of course, the other side, which my brother is part of, said they don't agree. It should be extended to financial institutions, savings and loans, so on and so forth, and all the rest of it. So it was passed because they have the numbers and we don't. But this, in its entirety, is a good bill. I think that the most important thing is us to stick. Because once we stick that, oh, we have improved in this way or that way, but not when it's time for a semi-annual report, then we see a dragging of feet and absence to give us that kind of information. But other than that, I think that the Bank of Ghana bill is a good bill, and we should be able to even improve upon it in the near future with an amendment.
Let me put this question to Honorable Chief Philosopher Chai, because he is part of the framers of this, or those who approve the law. Michael Quick Jr.'s worry is that the clause that says that the Bank of Ghana should go ahead and support savings and loans, financial houses, and that can be abused because the Bank of Ghana is in charge, and they will take that decision to support whichever savings and loans or finance house. And politically, he thinks that if Theophilus Chai,
my main crux. There's no, let me make it. The political thing was on the side that we should use that to check the procedure on the top.
Okay,
my thing with the financial institutions is that they're usually very smaller. Their capitalization is smaller.
Right.
And sometimes the accountability is not as stringent.
Okay.
So it may be different.
So you're not worried that they are owned by political actors?
No, that's not
Okay,
not the issue. I was talking about that in reference to regulation, not...
Okay, but is that a worry, the fact that these financial services are not properly in terms of their accounting, and so perhaps monies given them could be misused and we cannot recover?
Yeah, prior to the passage of this bill into law, some bills have also been passed into law to regulate
the microfinance
finance institutions. So all those processes have been put in place. So the essence of this one is to firm up how the banks, the central bank, is going to now assert its powers on these institutions. So for me,
there's no call for
no,
at all.
No, not at all. It's rather to strengthen their role as a central bank to ensure that other financial institutions play the roles that they are playing in the society very, very well. So that at the end of the day...
But for me, finance houses owned by politicians could abuse the system. You don't think so?
Currently, if you look at the new Bank of Ghana Act that has been passed, you realize that government influence has been totally taken off. The Deputy Finance Minister was a member of that board.
Yes.
With the current arrangement, he's no more a member. So you see the Finance Minister and the Deputy Finance Minister are now
out of that committee.
Yeah, just to give the that power to exercise its role, so that the perception of government interference in their activities will be a thing of the past. So now they have been given that independence that all of us wish for.
The head is still appointed by the president.
Well, decisions are not being taken by a single person, because it's a board.
I hasten to add,
let's wrap up.
You know, as I mentioned, that aspect could be a minute problem. It is something that is also curable in future with an amendment to the bill. Let's see how it operationalizes. But the crux of the matter is that in its entirety, in terms of what the bill seeks to do, it is a fantastic bill. And I think that this is something that we need and we should adhere to, because it will check a lot of people who may otherwise have wanted to always be borrowing excessively. So I think it's a good bill. And yes, as my brother also said, there's no problem.
All right. I'm grateful, gentlemen, for your time this morning. Michael Cook Jr. is the Deputy Communications Director of the NPP. Mike, thanks so much for coming.
Thanks so much, Bright. I enjoyed my second session with you.
And have a great day.
Have a lovely day too.
And Honorable Theophilus Chai is the Member of Parliament for Ablekuma Central. And I'm grateful for your time too.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for coming.